Okay, this video talks about the buying process for fashion retail organisations. As we already know, the buying function is very reliant on trends, and this is basically where the start of a new collection for a retailer begins. The design team monitor the catwalk shows and other trends and come up with a design direction for the whole organisation. We'll then divide that into departments and advise each product development team, buying team, on how they should take the product forward for the forthcoming season. And this is usually 6 to 3 months in advance of product being available. So for example, last year there was a trend for coloured denim and coloured leather. There was a big kind of 60s trend. So depending on the retailer, they'll advise the buyers what would be appropriate for them to go to their suppliers, and again might work with designers at the supplier end to come up with product that's going to be commercial but still, in line with the trends and what people are going to go. This year it is a bit tricky. Nobody really knows what consumers are going to want apart from comfortable clothing for wearing indoors. So this year might be the exception to that rule. However, that triggers the product development process where the buyer will work with the designer of their department to come up with various designs that are going to be workable for different suppliers and send those out with clear instructions in the form of a design spec of what they should put into sample production for them. Once the samples come through, those will be fitted and looked at in terms of how they're going to fit with other garments in the range, and a decision will be made on which garments will be purchased to make up that little mini range, if you like. So for example, in knitwear, they would just look at their particular product range and how that fits with other ranges within the brand as well. Then we have the ordering process. That's where the contract is formed. Again, we know that buyers are heavily involved in negotiation and forming of the contract, so that's what happens there, and the garments are ordered. Then it's up to the assistant buyer to monitor the critical path in terms of making sure that the supplier is hitting key dates for the manufacture of the products. And then we have our delivery into the DC, or distribution centres it's sometimes known. Warehouse is most common as well. The garments will then be checked in terms of their quality to make sure they're suitable to be sold, and then distributed to stores if it is in fact a brick and mortar retailer, or will be made available online, like in ASOS for example. At this point we are relying on marketing. We want to let consumers know what new ranges we have in store, so that's when you'll get your emails about new product drops, what's new in. For an online retailer, this is heavily relying on good photography, could be video, stuff like that. Social media is also incredibly important. And if we are a traditional brick and mortar retailer, then we'll have in-store marketing as well, which is also still important. And then basically the job of the buying team, the buying function, is to monitor the sales and make sure that we are capitalising on any successes and getting out of anything that isn't successful, cancelling any commitment we may have on that. And that's where we need to be really creative and come up with solutions to problems that we might be having to ensure that we maximise our profits. Monitoring competition at this time is also really important to make sure that we are providing something our competitors aren't, or perhaps looking at doing something that our competitors are in our own way. And then so the cycle begins. We're looking at reordering things that have been successful, learning our lessons from things that haven't been successful, and looking forward to the new season where the process will start all over again. So I hope that helps to explain. This could be represented in a cycle. I hope that helps to explain the process of how products, fashion products, clothing, accessories, footwear, etc. come into being. And we'll look at more about that this week, and we're going to be doing some practical activity on creating a mood board. So really looking forward to that.